Greetings everyone, happy Wednesday to you. I want to make a short video today to kind of physically demonstrate from a visual perspective when I talk about the principle of resemblance. In other words, why do our dogs perceive children who we believe are harmless? They're not a threat to us. I don't have to worry about a child breaking into my home, stealing my stuff, taking anything from me, or harming me. But why does a dog believe otherwise? Why do they see a child as a possible opponent or even a threat? And this is something very difficult for most dog owners to wrap their head around. They don't understand it because, again, our perception is that they're harmless. We love them. They love us. Why don't our dogs love our children? Why don't they love everyone's children? Well, there's a reason why. And again, perception is individual. It depends upon your abilities, your biology, your genetics, your previous exposure to children. But today I want to show you from a visual standpoint how and why they can perceive a child to be either an opponent or a threat. Okay, in doing so, I have a fake child here. This is fake. We have a couple of nicknames for him, but I'll just leave those out for today. This is just a little mannequin, represents a 4-year-old child that I'm going to use in this demonstration. And I also use this child for evaluating dogs in which the owners have already voiced or provided information or testimonial that their dog seems to be apprehensive around children. And they want to find out why, and they want to make sure that no one becomes harmed. So again, no real children are being used in this video. This is a fake that I use for my evals for possible canine pharmacotherapy. So here we go. Over here is Red Zone. You've seen him many times. I use him as well. I use a variety of artificial dogs to basically evoke a particular response from a dog. And now as you see here, as this child starts to move over to Red Zone, first of all, notice that they're about head level. The child is a little taller. From a dog's point of view, you now just entered the domain of being adult-like. You're just a smaller biped. You're not a gigantic biped, maybe like Bryan. You're just a smaller variety. But because you're head level with me, that means that from my genetic coding, and again, I always say all behavioral systems will develop on the basis of genetic information first. So my heritable traits, my heritable mechanisms tell me that when I'm looking at a dog or a child that is head level with me, then you can definitely represent a possible opponent or a threat. And you can see that here, the approach. Now I position the arms on this fake child to be outward because that's the way most children do approach dogs. They want to initiate contact, they want to pet, and they often wander very quickly into the critical zone. And that critical zone, if the dog happens to be on a leash or in a corner or in a tight foyer, happens to be in a car, then the option of backing away from the child is taken from it. And therefore, many of these dogs will resort to making the child go away from it. But that's a nice visual to see it from basically from a dog's eye view, right there. Okay, smaller, usually not as much of a problem, but anything about head level or taller can definitely be a problem for some dogs. And now I'm going to show you in a live video, or actually this is live, but this one here was a video in which I used my artificial child to evaluate a 6-year-old dog that has already previously shown some apprehension about children, but has never tried to attack a child. So again, in this video, as I say one more time, this is not a real child. This is my artificial child on a pole. But let's watch what happens here when I come out of this room here. 20-second video, let's go. The dog is being held on leash with its owner. The child approaches. Okay, and you can hear from that metallic sound, those teeth hitting the face. And I'm here to tell you that being part of that test, that hit my arm with such force, I almost dropped the bar. I was not expecting that kind of force. So I'll put my microphone up here a little bit closer so you can hear this growl in the impact. Okay, if that occurred in real life, that child would be no doubt, at a minimum, having reconstruction surgery on the face. 2 immediate attacks. And notice how quickly they came. Fortunately, there's a little growl, so most dog owners, hearing their dog growl like that, would immediately try to pull their dog away from the child, and hopefully the parent of the child would do the same thing, creating a safe distance. But if you harbor the misbelief that a dog would not bite a child, again, this was just one of many. Now, about 50% of the dogs I evaluate or I test using this model are fine. They're curious, they'll come up to the child, they'll try to initiate play with the child. They're perfectly fine. Others are somewhere in between, not like this dog here, which they attack the child, but like my own dog, Captain, that you've seen in a lot of videos. The first time he saw this child approach him, he immediately just backed away. He said, okay, I don't have anything to do with you. I'm leaving. And he left the area. Same thing with one of our other dogs named Dave, a 11-year-old Morkie, Maltese Yorkie mix. Same thing. He said, forget it. I don't want to deal with you. I'm out of here. However, Poe, the other 11-year-old Morkie that we have, she immediately went up and tried to initiate play. And those are right in line. They're not contrary to how these dogs are. Captain, I will let any adult in the world pet him. But I'm always very cautious about children petting him because I've seen that apprehension before. And of course, same thing goes on with Dave. If you have a dog that is apprehensive around children, even one child, maybe not all children, but even one, take heed. Perhaps, maybe we can pet later, not now. Your dog will live without being petted by that child. And that child, may be disappointed, but it'll live as well. Just from the videos, you saw the speed and the power in which that dog attacked. So be careful, guys. This is why it occurs. Again, you have head level. And that's what creates the problem right there. When I can see you as a dog from that view, you're not a child. You're an adult. All right, guys, be safe, be careful, and again, always pay heed. At any time you are in doubt, any doubt whatsoever, avoid the social interaction of a child with your dog. And be careful. Take care.